evening, everyone. I'd like to start this meeting off by observing a moment of silence. I'd like to call this meeting to order, and we will start with the mission statement: transforming education, inspiring lives, empowering all. This is the regular meeting of the Board of the Board of School Trustees of Lake Ridge New Tech Schools, Lake County, Indiana, scheduled for Thursday, November 13th, 2025 at 6:01 p.m. in the Lake Ridge Schools boardroom. We're going to start off with the public hearing on the 2025-2026 teacher tentative agreement. May I have a motion to open the public hearing? Motion by Mr. Buckley. May I have a second? Second by Mr. Deal. Any questions or comments? All in favor? Aye. 3 yeas, 0 nays. Motion carries. Okay, we're going to have the 2025-26 teacher tentative agreement summary statement provided by Mr. Adrian Wilkerson.
Thank you, Madam President. Good evening. Pursuant to Indiana statute, it is required that the parties between the school district and the executive representative announce that we have come to a tentative agreement on the teacher contract for the 2025-2026 contract period. It is a one-year agreement effective from July 1, 2025 to June 30th, 2026. The parties have agreed that $82,000 to be divided on a point system regarding with evaluation and academic need as the factors to be added to base salary. Currently, there are 69 eligible staff members, so that would equal approximately a 2% increase. The parties have agreed to change the point distribution to align with statutory requirements on academic need and early literacy. The General Assembly in their most recent session required the parties change the agreement to have a greater emphasis on academic need and also provide for a base salary increase for early literacy endorsement. 90 points will go towards evaluation. Eligible teachers receiving a needs improvements, effective and highly effective, are eligible. 10 points will be distributed for academic need. Same criteria as previous contracts, which are teaches an island subject, a STEM subject, career technical education, and also foreign language. 100-point maximum. $375 is to be added to the base salary for any teacher who obtains the early literacy endorsement, and they must show evidence of obtaining that endorsement by January 1. We have increased homebound pay to $40 per hour versus $26 per hour in the previous agreement. We have also included summer school and the planned period coverage to also be $40 per hour. The parties agreed to amend the grievance process in the contract, adding a grievance level 3, where the party can appeal to the school board if level 2 is unsatisfactory. The parties have also agreed to add 5 elementary team lead positions to the BCA schedule. The parties have agreed to increase the VIVA contribution to $10,000 per year for any of those currently eligible for VIVA. Those are pre-June 30th, 1995 retirees, which there are only a few remaining in the district. We've also agreed that any early retiree 55 or older with more than 15 years of experience in Lake Ridge schools can enroll in the available group health plan with the retiree paying 100% of the premium. And we've also included the defined contribution level language for the employee insurance health plan, which is an item on your agenda later. The salary range after all the increases will be $45,000 to $86,000. That is the summary.
Thank you, Mr. Wilkerson. The floor is open for public comments to anyone who raises their hand to speak about the 2025-2026 teacher tentative agreement. The board recognizes Mr. Bergione.
I just want to say Dr. Crimmins. It was very obvious from the beginning you were there to negotiate in good faith, which is, you know, the norm here. But it was, I didn't know what to expect. Our staff rep, who comes in from the outside, he said, "You guys aren't getting anything." He didn't say that. He said a cuss word, and he was actually very impressed with the way things went. And I always quote our previous AFT staff rep, Betty Quinn. She said, if everyone does a good job, you will all leave here perfectly unhappy. And I said that we understand where we are financially. It was not an easy negotiating session with the insurance, and there was a lot of moving parts. And I said 2 weeks ago was the most stressful week I've had in 15 years, and it was not flawless, but I do appreciate your willingness and enthusiasm actually to get something done. So, and the members appreciate that too. So it was very as productive as a negotiating session in a district that is cutting huge numbers off the budget can be. So I appreciate that.
Thank you, Mr. Bergione. Okay. All right, I'm going to need a motion to close the public hearing on the 2025-2026 teacher tentative agreement. Ma'am?
I move to close.
Ma'am, did you have anything to add? No. Okay. Okay, thank you. Okay, so Mr. Buckley, you moved to close. Mr. Deal, you moved to second. Is that correct? Okay. All right. Any questions or comments? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
3 yeas, 0 nays. Motion carries. Alrighty. Let's see, want me to go on with this? Are there any additions or deletions to the agenda?
Yes. 7E, resignation of Gabriel Campbell, ELA interventionist. 8A, 8L, Indiana Learns Grant Program approval. Cindy was talking about that later. We want to table 8J.
Correct. 8J would need to be tabled. Okay, thank you for those additions and deletions. Let the record show that all the board members and the superintendent, let the record show the board members that are present and the superintendent is present. Let the record show the administrators that are present. We'd like to consider the attached accounts payable vouchers and the October 31, 2025 payroll for payment. May I have a motion?
To accept payroll.
Motion by Mr. Buckley. May I have a second? Second by Mr. Deal. Any questions or comments? All in favor? Aye. 3 yeas, 0 nays. Motion carries. Next, we're going to move to consider the minutes of the October 13, 2025 school board meeting. May I have a motion? Motion by Mr. Buckley. May I have a second? Second by Mr. Deal. Any questions or comments? All in favor? Aye. 3 yeas, 0 nays. Motion carries. Next, we're going to move on to the superintendent report. Dr. Crimmins.
Reminder, goals, academic, all learners should continuously demonstrate academic growth. Safety, we provide a safe and secure learning environment for all. Equity, we provide a positive, inclusive, and equitable environment for all. Communication, we will improve communication and strengthen relationships both internally and externally. And finances, we will advocate to increase the financial resources of the corporation
to provide an outstanding school environment. And one thing I might point out on that fifth one, you probably would have no way of knowing, but the financial resources, and I applaud Cindy for this. She did some extra work on the vocational reporting and making things line up, and we got news we're going to get about 1.5 million from vocational, and Adrian had budgeted anticipating 1.1 million. So that new tech combination is crucial financially. A couple other things, just comment on negotiations. You know, I've been through a lot of them. This one went pretty smooth, I thought. You know, it's a challenge when you don't have a lot to work with. The health insurance plan, you know, everyone understood status quo was not a possibility. That, you know, there was a lot of discussion about possibly going with a more state-of-the-art plan, but just weren't ready for that yet with the Okra. But this will save $500,000 to $600,000 compared to what you would have, because the chances are the out-of-control rates would have went up even also in the old plan. And just remind, there's a special meeting a week from tonight, which I hope the board votes to ratify the contract. I anticipate they will. And also the gentleman doing the staffing study will be here for that report. That's all I have right now.
And we're going to the leaves, resignation, and employment. Dr. Simmons.
I recommend approval
Of the leave and resignation and employments as presented, including the additional E.
May I have a motion for the approval of the leaves, resignation, and appointment?
Motion by Mr. Buckley. May I have a second? Second by Mr. Deal. Any questions or comments? All in favor? Aye. 3 yeas, 0 nays. Motion carries. Next, we're going to move on to new business.
I recommend approval of all these after a little bit of discussion. The policy,
Was way out of date, and how that works, you know, Neola recommends, and then we spent many hours going through their recommendation, picking what we thought worked best for the corporation. There's not a lot of options because most of it's all legal jargon, but there's some question why the board wasn't more involved, and the board could, but it's going to take you 6 or 8 3 or 4 hour work sessions to get there. Now, any policy, I'd recommend you plunge through them. Any of them that you're not comfortable with can always be revisited, but we had to get it up to date moving forward. And also on the Indiana Student Learn Grant Program approval, I'd ask Cindy to comment about that a little bit. Yeah.
I just wanted to look.
For the Indiana Learns Grant, we're one of 20 high schools in the state and one of 3 school districts in Lake County who were approved. What this will provide is $1,000 per eligible student, which is any student that performed below proficiency on the IBERN, which we have 394 eligible students right now. So it's the equivalent of about $394,000 that we will be able to provide tutoring to our students both during the school day and after school. So we're in the process now of going over the criteria with the Indiana Learns team to see what we need to do to help our certified teachers be eligible to tutor, and also to put a job description out, which is attached, so that we can hire tutors, maybe such as college students who will be able to come in during the school day and even after or before school to help tutor all of our students before they take iLearn.
Thank you, Mrs. Trevino, for all of that hard work that you did. It is really appreciated.
No, we are going to, with the new business, okay. So are we going to approve new business as presented, all new business as presented? Okay, may I have an approval of the new business items as presented? We took it out at the beginning. Okay. Motion by Mr. Buckley, may I have a second? Second by Mr. Deal. Any questions or comments? All in favor? Aye. 3 yeas, 0 nays. Motion carries. Okay, next we're going to move on to administrative and board member comments. Mr. Buckley.
Thank you. Glad that it went smoothly. As it should. I do know that we do some matters with the numbers trying to not be transparent about what's going on. It's our main push. So, with that being said, I thank everyone for coming out tonight and have a good evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Buckley. Mr. Deal.
Dan, it's a pleasure to see you. I haven't seen you for quite a while. Glad you're here, and things have gone well with negotiations. It's been kind of a screwed up, tough half a year for us, but we survived it. We're glad that everybody in the schools have also. And with that, I hope everybody has a good evening. God bless you.
Thank you, Mr. Deal. Mr. Wilkerson.
Thank you, Madam President. Just want to thank everyone for joining us this evening. I just want to commend Dan on a relatively smooth bargaining session, relatively smooth. Dan and I go way back, but I think the best part about bargaining with Dan is that all parties recognize that we are all here pushing for a common goal, which is to make sure that Lake Ridge is still afloat at the end of the day, and compensating our instructors is of course very important, and we try to do the best we can with what we've got. I just want to also congratulate all of our fall sports teams. Fall sports season is completed, so everyone did a great job, and just want to acknowledge that. Quick construction updates. We are kind of closing in on the completion. The last of the bleachers should be complete hopefully by the end of this week, and now it's pretty much the finishing touches. The floor and the upper mezzanine of the field house, the lobby and the auditorium is getting touched up on. The riggings and audio-visual equipment in the auditorium is getting completed this week. We're training the staff on both the auditorium, AV equipment, and the scoreboard equipment in the field house next week. And the architects will be here next Friday to start their punch list inspection. So hopefully we are ready to roll here with games and plays and concerts, hopefully in the month of December. So that's very exciting. And then also just want to point out that we've started open enrollment for health insurance. That'll be going through December 1st. Representative from Anthem and the state plan was kind enough to come to Lake Ridge for some informational sessions with the staff. Those are ongoing. So hopefully, change is never, easy, but hopefully with enough communication and, information, we'll get through it. So with that, thank you, everyone. Have a good evening.
Thank you, Mr. Wilkerson. Mrs. Trevino.
Just wanted to thank everyone for coming tonight and let the parents know that we will be reaching out to our eligible students for the Indiana Learns Grant so that we can get the students registered with your permission. to start the tutoring services, which should start no later than January 12th is what we're shooting for, hopefully before that. I also am asking parents to make sure that you're paying attention to the weather and our social media pages and your Power Hub and school messenger messages in case we have e-learning days or need to transition because of the weather, like we had to do last Monday. And I also wanted to ditto everyone's comments on the bargaining session and just want to thank everyone for always putting students first while we go through those processes. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Trevino. Dr. Crimmins.
Just a reminder about the meeting next week.
Broadcast, I think, too, but people are certainly welcome. We've asked these individuals to give their honest appraisal from the staffing perspective, how it compares, and I know they have a pretty detailed report they're finalizing, and also very important that we ratify the contract at the same meeting. So that's next Thursday at 6 p.m.
Relatively smooth. It's supposed to dump on this plate this early, but it did, but it seemed like it created too many problems.
It's pretty good. Okay. Thank you for that, Dr. Crimmins. The only thing I have to add is on November 21st from 5 to 8 p.m., we'll have our annual Thanksgiving dinner. Is that at the high school? Okay, at the high school. I just wanted to double check before. Yeah, at the high school from 5 to 8 p.m. If you'd like to make any donations, please make sure you get those to the high school by November 20th, 2025. Thank you all for coming. I'm glad the negotiations went smooth. I hope everyone has a great rest of their evening. May I have a motion to adjourn? Motion by Mr. Deal. May I have a second? Second by Mr. Buckley. This meeting is adjourned. Have a great evening, everyone.